Guys, or good afternoon, depends on when you're showing the video. Hey, I'm not there because I'm on the second leg of the RapidLock World Tour, talking to our clients. But I wanted to go ahead and to provide you guys just another look, another example, another sample of how to install SoundTech 3.0 with RapidLock. So just a couple things first. SoundTech with RapidLock, there's some things that absolutely remain the same. It's still 7x48 size. It's 6 millimeters in thickness, and it still has the 1.5 millimeter EVA foam pad. The only thing that's changed is how it locks together. So basically the product still performs exactly the same way. It's a watertight joint, it's a non-porous top, and it's a waterproof core. So first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and illustrate how to install the Dash S, just to kind of review how it really gets installed, and then we're going to go ahead and move and show you how to install the RapidLock. So first thing I want to do is I want to show you the difference. So in Dash S is a angle product, which means that once you put the first piece down, you still have to remain a 1/4 inch away from the wall, because you got to worry about expansion. So remember, when this goes down, it's going to go down as a big large sheet. So you want to stay away a 1/4 inch from all walls. So the first piece is down. So to install the second piece in the first row, it's angle, which means that this piece goes inside the first piece. So to make that happen, you got to lift up the piece and you got to stick the short end, the 7-inch wide end, and get it in there so it goes ahead and locks in horizontally. And then you'll notice if the joint is nice and tight. Now if it's not tight, you go ahead and you can use a non-marring mallet, and you can put a block on this side and hit it in this direction to close that gap, because it's got to be important to have that gap closed. Now in the second row, so let's just say this piece was already cut to fit, and so we get that second row in there, and you got to make sure that joint is absolutely solid with Dash S. If it's not, you can hit with a block in this direction. Now, some of the installers are not recommending to use that block because it could mess up that front leading edge. As Jeremy says, you want to use a sacrificial piece, and you can line it right up there and hit in this direction, and that'll ensure that closes that gap. Now, Dash S, we said it's angle. You have to lift up the piece, and you have to get the 7-inch end inside the other end. Now to get the long end in, you're gonna have to lift up the piece that's already installed. Once you get it in, if you have a gap, you can of course hit in this direction and until you get rid of any gap that you might have. So it might require a little bit of banging this direction and a little bit of banging in this direction to make sure that these joints are closed all the way. So let's take a look at RapidLock. So RapidLock has the same characteristics. The first piece has to be installed where it's a 1/4 inch away from the wall. So this piece has to be installed correctly a 1/4 inch away, but what you're going to do differently is that the second piece, because of the type of lock that it is, it locks in from above, straight down. It just drops down in there. So just like the Dash S, you got to make sure that these two edges, this edge and this edge, are aligned perfectly. And if you can see this in the video, you can tell it's kind of resisting a little bit. So you want to push down the ends first. And right there, both ends kind of sat down, but the middle it's a little bit raised. So with your non-marring mallet, a couple of taps, and that piece will sit down all the way. So it's very important to stress that piece has to be 100% flush laying down in there. And when that joint is nice and clean, you can't have dust, you can't have little, bits of pieces of sheetrock or dust or, any bit of trash in there, because it won't allow it to sit down all the way. So the second piece in the second row for RapidLock, let's just say this piece was cut to fit and it's installed. And of course there's no visible space here. If there was, you could tap it in there, but the RapidLock is going to allow you to get it to fit in easier. Now, the second piece. Here it is, RapidLock. RapidLock, instead of the short end like S, you put in the long end first. And at a 45-degree angle, it will slide. That means you can adjust the piece to where you need it. Again, you have to make sure there's no dust, any junk inside this little channel right here. And your left-hand edge of the piece you're going to install is going to touch the right-hand edge of the piece that's already installed. And it's touching right here. And the long part is already all the way in. You can drop it straight down. You see the resistance. You push it down, and the teeth want to grab right there. But it's almost all the way down here. It's almost all the way down here, but it's definitely not all the way down here. So with your mallet, a couple of love taps, and now it's 100% flush. So we're going to go ahead and do that one more time so you can see that. Again, we're going to go ahead and install the long end first. And at a 45-degree angle, it slides. It can be adjusted, but once it's down, you can't move it. So there's that piece, and you can see that's locked down. So you put in the next piece, long side first. Then you're going to take that left edge, you're going to come right up to the right edge of the piece that's already down. You notice we didn't have to lift that up, because what makes it easy to install is that it drops straight down. So it's angle, slide, drop. We push it down. If it's not all the way down, a couple of taps, and the piece is down to stay. So a couple of things that are working for you here is there's only one way that that joint can hold on to itself. And what it does is it locks down that 90-degree all the way down, basically ensuring that your piece is tight. So let me show you how you take it apart. So real plain and simple. Remember, it's angle, slide, drop. So to get it out, you bring it up at an angle, and you can take a whole entire row out. At that point, you can slide it apart, and that piece is ready to be installed again. What you don't want to do, like Dash S, is to pull up on an end to try to yank it off of there, because you're going to fold that leading edge, and it's going to be ruined at that point. So you don't want to go ahead and raise it up. All you want to do is horizontally opposing itself, and basically that's how you install RapidLock. So I hope you guys have a good time at your meeting. You guys can review the video, and if you have any questions, just reach out. Thank you.